Down to one.
There's three of us.
It's gone already. There's no 5 count. Hangouts is very fast this week, which means it's time to say welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. This is your first / only / best / kind of stuck choice for Transformers news in Australia. I'm pretty sure that it is actually your only choice, which means we're your best choice and your first choice. This is episode 123. We are recording live on the 15th of September, 2017. I'm Jason. Joining me tonight, we have Brad. How are you doing, Brad?
Evening, lads. Evening, world. How are we tonight?
Oh, we're lads today. Fair enough.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a bit. I don't actually know why that warranted that response, but
I've got a new thing to put on my
Gents.
resume. And I'm a gent. Okay, cool.
The other voice you hear there is Mikey. How are you doing, Mikey?
Yeah, very good. I'm currently surrounded by my peers, and my peers seem to be, half a meter tall plastic men. So that's good, and also some Transformers.
Sounds like a night out at the pub.
No, but yeah.
Half a meter tall plastic men. So you like dwarves?
Yeah.
Garden gnomes.
Peter Dinklage is my favorite actor. Well, no, he's a great actor. He's a great actor. Yeah, no, been good, been solid, been alive, and that's all we can ask for.
It was unexpectedly deep. That answer. I'm not sure I can carry on in the same jovial state in which I started the podcast. Now I feel like I need to.
I might as well try it once or twice. I don't know.
I feel like I need to bring it down a little bit and maybe just get a little bit more serious. Brad, what have you been doing this week? Please answer in 50 words or less, as per the more dour and serious nature of the podcast.
Oh, okay. Watched I Did Expanse. Holy shit, check it out.
It's not a tweet, Brad. You can have 50 words.
What was that sentence?
I was trying not to put a full stop in there anyway. No, just season 2 Expanse was out this week and checked it out. Just finished watching the last episode before and absolutely loved it. What else has been happening? Just getting stuff organised for Melbourne for next weekend. And yeah, done a bit of wax on, wax off the truck today back in the front yard.
That is not where I thought you were going with that sentence. I'm really glad it ended up being something to do with the truck.
It might also be another use.
It's the second time in the year I've had home having a wash, and yeah.
I know, that's fine. It's September. It's nearly time for your bath. It's okay. No, it's okay because the waxing is not the only feminine hygiene product thing that we have to discuss this week, because Mikey has been out buying nail polish.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I didn't put it in as my well, technically not me.
It's not a new acquisition.
It's the new hot rod formula, aka the new French formula, and it's Color by TBN, Transformers Brazil Network, apparently.
Does it stand at the window and just go, "Je m'appelle Hot Rod"?
Hot Rod. Sorry, what? Hot Cod? Hot Rod. That whole scene in the movie was. I don't know if I loved it or I hated it, but it was very racist. But yeah, no, this stuff it works well. So just get yourself.
So you are of course talking about it working well, not as nail polish, but as a way to tighten joints of Transformers.
Should put that out there before I said it works well. No,
it does work well. What are you saying? It doesn't look like you've spared any expense on your nail polish.
Yeah, no, my fingers look great. No, but it's what can I say? I mean, we don't have Pledge here, unfortunately, or I don't know what else. We should have a substitute. But
apparently we do. It is behind you on the shelf.
And there you go. Good luck putting that on the floor.
Have you used it yet?
Thank you. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I used it to actually tighten up a third-party product, which I'll be getting to later. But
suspense is killing Brad.
He knows. Actually, he didn't know because I was calling it its third-party name, and it's just like, what is antoname here? But no, it works really well. You've
done a good job of hiding the mystery so far.
Yeah, just don't look at the run sheet before you've passed this point. It works well. You just put a little bit on like for me, it was just a peg, and the peg was too small for the hole. Put a little bit on, it dried for a couple hours, put it in, and it works a treat. So yeah, I can't recommend whatever the hell I just showed you enough.
So yeah, so in general, it is one of those little tips of collectordom, right? Is that if you do have a figure that has a loose ball joint, then you can generally coat the ball joint with nail polish or a floor cleaner or something that leaves a coat on it to make it a little bit larger, give it a little bit more friction in that joint.
Yep, and it works well. So I mean, I've had a couple problems that I'm going to fix up. So yeah, I'm glad I've actually got something, and it kind of sucks that we don't have any of that whatever. It's Pledge, I believe.
Pledge.
Yeah. But you know, if you can just, I mean, it's from what I've seen, whenever it was sold in Australia, Pledge costs about $20 or something. Compared to.
Oh my God, $20.
Yeah, but like, I mean, come on, it would last you forever.
You should do right. You should spend $20 on the Pledge, and then just like ship it to every member of the club.
Yeah.
one at a time. Just form a little mail chain. And then one day, if you're a member of TCCA, a little bottle of Pledge, actually it might be a large bottle of Pledge, it'll be a little bottle by the time you get to the end. A large bottle of Pledge will rock up on your doorstep, at which point you can grab your Generations RC or whoever's got problems, and you can
pretty
fix
much any mainline
product. But you can also be fairly certain that you will ship almost as much Pledge as you receive. And therein lies the Pledge.
Small disclaimer. That is probably going to come in a little 50ml whiskey shooter bottle. Don't drink it. It's got Pledge in it.
It's floor polish. It's going to be a bigger bottle than that.
If
I have to post it out to people, I've got those bottles. So
okay. Put a label on it though, or because you could probably get yourself sued.
But in all seriousness, Coles do have a product in their cleaning aisle. I've got 2-litre bottles, and I have to put it in 50ml bottles.
Yeah, Brad's going to get in trouble for like basically supplying the population of sunshine with their like inhalation or whatever. Oh, just basically you'll cause the entire postal sorting room to get high. One bottle cracks open, and basically you're going to evacuate Australia Post.
It might actually speed up the process, Brad, as you were saying before. You're thinking it's like the postal system's going a bit slow. Maybe we just need to get some drugs into them, and there you go.
Get some pledge into the Australia Post sorting room. Things will go faster because the floor will be polished. So as people are like scooting along, they'll just keep going.
Everyone's slipping, and the packages are just falling into place as they go. That'd be great.
What a lovely image. And also, by the way, this is probably what happens anyway. You know when you get a box and it's been inexplicably crushed, despite the fact that you saw the guy coming down the road and you know that he only carried 5 things in that basket. And you're like, how did this box get crushed? There's your answer. Someone pledged the mail sorting room.
This Pledge is going to be sued now.
No, I'm actually gunning more for a sponsorship, but yeah, pledge.
We pledge our pledge to Pledge. So there you go.
Very good. Should we talk about some Transformers news instead of some Transformers home repair tips?
Yes, I think we should.
Okay, let's make a move on. Take Your Butt to Workday is running in the Transformers Collectors Club Australia Facebook discussion group. It is it's a nice encouragement to get your Transformers off their shelves and take them out in the real world. This week's winner is Daryl Anderson, who took Titan's Return Astro Train and placed it rather precariously in front of I'm going to say a real train, but it's obviously a kid's playground train, but let's just play along, right? And that is my phone vibrating when it really shouldn't be. But
there you go.
Yeah, whoops, sorry about that. And so it's always nice to see a little bit of ingenuity going around in the Take Your Butt to Workday picks. So this is of course much appreciated, and I think the scale is only ruined by the leaves sitting next to Astro Train on the tree.
Santa's really early this year. He's coming in September.
I think it might be Santa Fe.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, well there you go. Well, I mean, my friend who works in Big W has already started to receive behind the scenes, all of everything Christmas related. So
Oh, yeah, I was
this
saying
is
Coles.
not, yeah, no, this is not news. I went into Maya last week, and they've got a Christmas area set up already.
Oh,
Yeah.
It is not even Halloween.
oh, I know. That's the indicator.
It is
like,
kind of
straight after.
It's actually kind of amazing how strongly we feel about this just by appearance of the word Santa on screen. We've managed to fly off on a tangent. We go,
We're all triggered by
yeah.
how the distribution of everything Christmas related is just way too early.
Look,
Because it's the one time. It's the one time a year we can justify spending more money than we should be on figures for ourselves.
it's not meant to start until after Halloween.
That's
Still. But no, this is great. Like, perfect example of your bot interacting with the real world. Like Mikey, you're going to say earlier that it's mistransformed, but it doesn't matter.
I was saying it off thing. I'm not going to obviously sledge the guy for
No, that's all right. It was a landslide.
So as it turns out, now Brad said it, but blames Mikey for it.
Oh, there you go. I'd like to see what's his name, Sentinel Prime on the other track, and they could like be racing, and then or just like trying not to get destroyed by the gigantic child train. That'd be pretty.
Do we have a rail racer out yet?
A what?
What you mean the 3-train combiner?
Yeah.
No, but that toy I think stands up pretty okay today.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's right.
Good figure.
Shall we move on?
I just recalled that was a combiner. Yep. All right.
Okay.
Shall we move on? I feel it is necessary to bring all of the joviality and mirth and happiness and jokes to an end.
That'll do it.
Yeah, no, this will do it. The channel with the unpronounceable name, Machinima, whatever the hell they are, I don't really care. They've released a poster and some promo shots for their new Transformers series, Titans Return, which is a follow-up to their Riseable Combiner Wars of 2016. Yeah.
That's something, isn't it?
Yeah, it does seem like most of the plot is going to center around Trypticon being large and possibly in charge. I'm not sure.
Well, and going off the other screen cap, we got to Metroplex, which is the old rivalry between the two.
Yeah, that is correct. So they've released a couple of screenshots of the show as well. Prime still hasn't had his windows fixed. Megatron didn't Megatron leave at the end of Combiner Wars?
Again, I haven't seen it.
It's been erased from existence, so it's hard to go back and rewatch.
It's true. But yeah, you actually can only find Combiner Wars on all the pirate YouTube channels that are not very reputable.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know about that, but yeah, like it disappeared a couple of months after it went online, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't long after release that they've said, okay, we're going to hide this. But
well, apparently they didn't like that. They didn't hide it. Like it was for a home release, right? So it's on DVD or whatever.
God, it is.
I don't know.
What?
You know what? I actually haven't checked.
Poor DVD.
I haven't checked. Yeah. Like, it might be on like Google Play and stuff.
What?
While you are, I've got no issue with these designs at all. They're great looking designs. Like,
they are, yeah.
Bringing Trypticon Metroplex into it. I'm still Mistress of Flame. It's still the whole comic thing. Which
I can confirm, Transformers Combiner Wars is not available on Google Play.
Yeah.
Bullet dodged. Sorry, Brad. I interrupted your weekly rant about how you don't like comics.
Well, you did stop before I got there, but as I was saying in the pre-show, like I don't find the character designs bad at all. It's just how they're animated and what comes out of their mouths.
It's only what comes out of their mouths that annoys me. Yeah, I agree.
No, the way they're animated is terrible as well. Like this doesn't look like they've learned anything from Combiner Wars on the animation front either. Like you can see Trypticon raging over Cybertron with terrible explosions behind him that appear to be. Have you guys seen Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know how when Shake has anything in his hand and he drops it or throws it to the floor, it explodes.
Mm-hmm.
That appears to be what's happening as Trypticon is like
Yeah.
walking around Cybertron, shit's exploding around his feet as he puts his foot down. And again, it looks like Cybertron is populated by 5 Transformers.
It's also the
The Titans.
is happy. Is it like the center of the explosion where you think it would be is completely to the other side of Trypticon.
No, it was probably a missile that missed.
Right, a missed.
He batted something away from Fort Mac, from Metroplex. Yeah. I just done a Google search. Apart from a couple of rogue channels, there's no DVD mentioned at all. So,
yeah. No one needs that in their life.
It's okay. The whole thing is available on Go 90.
Yeah, because we have that available, don't we?
Yeah.
What was,
I don't know why. Looking at the new cast list, they've obviously thought that it was the voice actors that was the biggest problem with the previous thing. Which
they've got some great casting for this one.
There are.
Yeah, but it's telling,
including, and I feel like I should make this joke. Will Wheaton.
Yeah. Yep.
Can someone just because I've put the poster up, right? The voice cast names are at the top of the poster. There's not that many people returning from Combiner Wars, but can someone tell me who the fuck MatPat is?
I thought that was a disease, to be honest.
No, that's Devastator.
What?
What's Dashy Games?
I know the Devastator guy's back. The the Comic of Flame is back, and Megatron is back. Which that all.
I think Brad just froze in his rage.
In the first series, in the Combiner Wars series, they weren't in the same room or anything else. If they've got, okay, I'm not going to get Peter Cullen in the same room as the other, but just if you're doing the Megatron voice and you're in the same room as Peter Cullen acting off him, that is amazing. It's probably not going to happen. None of these guys are going to be in the same room, but if it acted like most animated series, it would be fantastic. But
actually, you're quite right about none of them being in the same room, and that was actually the problem with Combiner Wars as well. Is that it felt like the characters who were talking to each other were recorded 5 months apart from each other or something.
Yeah, but if you got someone like Peter Cullen at the head of it in his home studio office, it's like, come in, guys, let's do this in the one room and act off each other.
I don't think that's how it works at all.
I know. That's just fan hope, but yeah.
Have we got confirmation of Trypticon's voice?
Is it Jason David Frank?
No, he's emissary.
Is that Michael Dorn? Maybe Michael Dorn.
He is Fort Max. Fort Max and emissary have got two separate voices.
So Fort Max is in it as well?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you think they got Metroplex wrong?
No, because they said emissary as well. That Will Wheaton.
Okay.
No. Someone else.
There's a separate voice for the head, and then Fort Max.
Yep.
Fuck it, maybe it's MatPat.
Yeah. Yes, that, and then Dashy Games. What's
Devastator's back again? So
what's Raymond's brother in Everybody Loves Raymond's name? Do you know?
The guy that's related to Raymond.
The actor. Yeah, the actor.
Don't know.
The dude from The Walking Dead.
Oh, is that him?
Okay, that didn't help.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
So that's Robert, is it?
I'm pretty sure that was Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
I'm not sure though. I think he's way taller. He's a giant, that dude. I don't know.
Michael Dorn, is that Worf?
Yep.
Nice. All right.
But I really want him back because Robert in Everyone Else Raymond, he voiced Trypticon in G1, so I'd like to see that make a return. That'd be nice.
But wasn't that? Was there any vocals in G1? I can't recall at all.
Yeah, he spoke. He spoke in G1.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. But they're probably not going to get him back. So, But I just thought that would be a cool little hint.
Yeah.
But I guess the only thing that's looking positive so far is the names.
It's good to see Judd Nelson back.
Yeah, very.
Animated, after his 2 lines there.
Well, he probably got paid a boatload for that as well.
Yeah. No, this is November. It's coming out. So maybe the next 3 or 4 weeks we might see the first of the prequel.
Yeah.
Or the pre-videos, maybe.
News for you.
I know. It's going straight in. We're just going to cop first episode.
Dashy Games.
Yeah.
is the voice of Menasor.
Oh,
Oh
joy.
no!
I know, right?
Hey, nerd! You're a nerd. You're such a nerd, Computron. You're a nerd.
So basically, all the combiners from Combiner Wars lived.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do remember at the end, whenever Starscream did that thing with the thing and his thing, they were all standing with, and they were all buddies at the end. I don't know. They're probably having a cup
Is
of tea.
he gonna? Is Menasor gonna come back and face off against Trypticon and say, "Hey, lizard lips," and do a rat trap? Or I'm just trying to think what horrible lines they're gonna have for him to just.
I
know who Matt Pat is now, but I don't know what role they play. I am reading an article from Variety. There's Machinima and Hasbro have added other YouTube influencers to the cast. He's an influencer, and he has one name. Oh dear.
All right, can we just have a look back at this? The only thing they've changed since Combiner Wars, apart from the new line, is the voice cast.
Yep.
They haven't changed half of the voice cast. They just haven't put up the returning names of most of the people who are B-list voice actors. But
that's the thing. If they're gonna go all out and get some of these big names in, then why?
They're not going all out at all. Like, they're doing 11 episodes of 10 minutes of 11 episodes each. It's an afternoon at most.
Peter Cullen finished it all before he finished his coffee, but still.
Let's not make it something that it's not. And also, is anyone actually familiar with Legends with Titans Return Trypticon, the toy? Is anyone actually familiar with it? Because I'm curious as to whether or not this one is actually exhibiting the hip issue.
No, I'm not sure.
His legs.
None of us have it.
No, I don't care. I'm gonna get it when it's cheap.
Yeah, I'm getting the Takara version from a resource, which I don't think I'll ever get it.
Whatever.
But I really want it because I love Trypticon. But anyway,
can I just point out something I quite like about this poster?
Yes.
It actually reminds me of the Transformers the movie poster with Optimus his back to the viewer. Like I feel like they've got the design and the feel of Prime really well done. It's probably the UK one where Prime and Megatron are fighting, and Prime's facing into the poster, and Megatron's got his dukes up sort of over some space. I could probably Google it and maybe explain it.
So, question then, before we move on.
Yeah.
Is Prime going to die in the first episode and Judd Nelson as Hot Rod comes in to save the day in episode 2 and carries it on?
They already had... So Judd Nelson is not Hot Rod, but might be Rodimus. But they already had Rodimus in the last one, and he was not responsible for the death of Prime.
Yeah, but he's still walking around for an arm missing, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Armless?
Because...
Armless.
Yeah, someone ripped it off and hit Megatron with it or something.
And then he just gets back up and just
I really wish Rodimus had ripped his own arm off and hit Megatron with it. Like, it would have made the point.
Just like in Toy Story when Buzz has his arm and then he slaps Woody. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
You're just a robot.
See, there's precedent.
Yeah.
All right, I think we do need to move on from.
Yes, please.
Yeah, this is.
This
is not looking great. We're going to watch it.
Same.
It will be a trailer that we can't turn away from.
Yeah.
10 episodes, 11
minutes.
It's going to be 111, whatever. 110. I know maths. 110 minutes long, which is actually, it's as far as runtime goes, that's like 2 to 3 times the length of Combiner Wars, and it's getting quite close to an actual feature film as well, which also does beg the question, why the fuck didn't they just get Boulder Media to do it?
True. And I mean, that's with Batman the Animated Series, that's exactly the length of the movies from that series. So
a lot of the 80s, a lot of your favorite movies from the 80s were 95 minutes, so this is well over.
Absolutely.
How much longer was the 86 movie?
I think the 86 movie was somewhere close to 90 to 100 minutes.
So there you go.
About 9 minutes 30 before fall asleep.
No, it's about 13 minutes worth. Nice.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, we all cry ourselves to sleep. Yep.
Actually, I'm not sure.
Or just fall asleep.
Or just Brad, you know.
It's been screen tested at 2 events so far, and once that shuttle leaves, everyone loses interest completely. So
yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see when it comes to Sunday.
Oh,
will we?
You're jinxing yourself.
I think we are doing that. I'm not sure. Yeah, I probably am.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay, moving on.
Not quite moving on yet. Oh my
Oh,
goodness!
we got-
I have the running time for Transformers the movie from 1986. What do
That's
you
from
think?
production.
What do you think it was, Brad?
129.
It might
No,
seem
that's
like
way too much.
129, but Mikey,
I'm gonna go around 99.
it is 85.
Oh, I was closer though.
So there you go. This is going to be longer than the anime. Ooh.
Oh, that's fantastic, isn't it? That's why they need.
Most of our
that's why-
podcasts, in fact, are longer
Pretty much. Yep.
than the animated movie.
Back away, not today, disco lady. Well,
Speaking of Disco Ladies,
Oh, there she is.
we are
baby.
looking at Titan's Return RC, who has been granted an early release at Hascon last week and will be making an appearance for sale on Hasbro Toy Shop, which does require an American shipping address, on the 20th of September. Now, just for the sake of it, I have with me here Titan's Return Blur, whom I've come to know as Blue RC, and Blasey. Yes, I hope so. Blasey, we can see noticeably has different gun configuration and possibly not as detailed paint job. Now, the paint job for this.
I was going to say that's the Hasbro. That was the Hasbro one. You said
This is the Hasbro one. Yes.
Right.
The
Okay.
So the paint job on RC is actually fairly detailed by Hasbro standards. Which
Yes.
might go some way to explaining the figure's $11 billion asking price.
Yes. As you were talking before the show, yeah. Once you see it, just like, oh, it's such and such dollars, and just like, oh, okay, I'll put that down. Just like American, I'm just like, oh. exchange rate.
It's just like, oh, this is really nice. Yes, that's $11,000. Okay, and walk away.
Basically.
Unfortunately, yes, Titan's Return RC does come with a hefty price tag, and look, there'll definitely be people who will be picking it up. I would honestly like the figure, but not at that price. And
yeah, it's decent looking. Yeah, I'll give you that.
It is decent looking, and I like I like the idea of an official RC, but there's already been an official RC, so I don't really care that much. And the Generations RC is a much better representation of the character in its G1 style anyway.
Yeah, I know the love out there for actually having a Headmaster RC, but
this is true. That's the thing, right?
But it's I can see Blur. I can't. When I seen this, I thought, "What's the pink Blur?" And then I read it was RC. I'm like, okay. The head doesn't scream RC to me. The little Ultra
The head is
Magnus.
pretty much right bang on RC.
I'm gonna say with Jason, that is very much so RC. Yeah.
It's got the buns though. The buns are missing.
No, the buns are there.
Buns are there.
The little pink things, little pink detailed.
The little pink things. Okay. The
They're
little
there.
Ultra.
She's
the
got
little
Princess
G1.
Leia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Rest in peace,
but,
Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, true. But the little Titan Master Ultra Magnus just doesn't look like Spike at all. It just.
I don't think he's meant to.
He's not. I don't. No.
It's a white bot. That looks like the G1 Ultra Magnus with the blue face. It doesn't look like Spike at all.
No, the
It's
Spike
supposed to be
is.
Why is it meant to look like Spike?
So
Isn't
Spike.
that what the Titan Master?
No.
No.
RC's head.
RC's Titan Master is Leonard, which is Daniel spelled
Headmaster.
backwards.
Yeah,
Yes,
and it's supposed to
Master,
kind
Master.
of vaguely, sort of look like his Spike in his exosuit, which it doesn't really do the best job of. That's why he's got that weird
anyone
head.
that despises third party, stay away from this because that is third party crap. Oh, let's call it Daniel backwards. That's third party.
Actually,
actually,
Hasbro's been doing this a lot lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example.
No, Hasbro's been doing a few backwards names. What's the one of the Titan Masters is
true.
Diak, isn't it, or something? Or
Yeah, right, true. Yeah.
yeah.
And the best thing is you can put Ultra Magnus's head on RC and it just looks super awkward. So yeah.
Why have they done an Ultra Magnus Headmaster?
I have no idea.
Weird.
I don't know who you.
So the other thing is that the Ultra Magnus, like the head Ultra Magnus version, which I don't actually have the picture of here, sorry, but it actually looks like one of the UK versions of Ultra Magnus from some of the old UK comics.
That could be totally on purpose, you know.
Wait, what? There's a Titan Master Ultra Magnus.
That thing you see next to him.
Okay, see how RC is standing there with her head on.
I was joking. That looks like Ultra Magnus from G1. Is that actual?
That is the Ultra Magnus.
RC comes with a Titan Master that transforms into Ultra Magnus's head, as well as a Titan Master that transforms into her own. This is possibly the most confusing set that Hasbro has ever done.
It is, yeah. To be honest,
what does that head go on? Because that generation.
And Brad has finally caught up with the discussion. You know,
I was only joking.
A couple of minutes ago when I said the head, I don't know what it connects to, but I said that it does look like the UK Ultra Magnus. Bam.
It's yeah. Well, no. To be fair, it is a bit confusing because both of the headmasters are white. So if someone did look at this, they might have just thought, you know, just like Brad did, that there's a picture of the whole thing there, and then that's also what you get in the Titan Master. But no, Brad, that is a completely separate Titan Master that turns into.
But yeah, articulation aside, that looks like the Masterpiece Ultra Magnus. It's just the before 22, but yeah, because that Combinables one, its head doesn't come off, so.
No. I mean,
does if you pull really hard.
Yeah, yeah. And
yeah, but it's a ball joint. It's not a peg.
There's no port for him. Okay, well then, who would you put it on? Who would you put the which figure do you think would best suit the Magnus head? Is there any
Astro Train.
Yeah. Soundwave maybe? No.
Nope.
No, because that's a bit.
Let's be honest. Ultra Magnus's head does not suit any bot except
Titans Return
Ultra
Optimus
Magnus.
Prime.
Yeah, I guess maybe one of the Optimus Primes if you want to.
Titans Return Optimus Prime.
Well,
after the shuttle leaves Earth, Magnus, after he gets rebuilt by the Junkions, he puts his head on the wreck of Optimus Prime, becomes Optimus Prime. He couldn't do it as himself.
Optimus Prime's corpse is conveniently on Junkyard.
Yes.
Well, it's still on the ship. They take it with them when they leave Earth.
Do they, or is he buried, or we don't really know what happens with him.
Well, we know he turns up on the Mausoleum ship.
Yeah, he's buried there later on, but
and he's all
next
grey.
to Ironhide
and then scares children to death when he comes back to life.
Mm-hmm.
That's a stupid episode.
Anyway, back to this. I'm that generation's RC. I'm interested in the oversized one, possibly for my third party collection, but I've got no. Yeah, no. Next.
It's all right.
Next up, let's talk about some factory sample prototype figures that showed up at Hascon. We've just got a couple of shots that jumped out at us, and by us I mean Mikey and Brad, from some of the some of the panel images. Mikey, you wanted to talk about this guy. This is a prototype for Blaster that was apparently at some point going to be used in The Last Night.
Mm-hmm. See, so you're not at all interested by this, Jason.
Jason has wiped his hands of it all.
Okay. All right. So this, okay, it continues, and it's very loud.
What's going on?
Andy, call him.
That's okay.
Andy is sitting right under the microphone.
If you can hear me.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Yeah.
Now you can't.
This is there you go. This is
Go, Mikey.
So this is obviously not obviously if you don't know what this is. God. This is Deluxe Soundwave from Dark of the Moon. You know, the one that was I don't think ever really. Well, I mean, it was released.
Soundwave is not in Dark of the Moon.
Sir?
Soundwave was not in Dark of the Moon.
Yes, it is.
But the figure was released in the thing.
So, this is hard. So that wave that came with like Leadfoot and stuff was like, I don't know, cancelled or just not distributed
That was the
well.
very last. It was
Yeah.
car only. There was no Hasbro release of it.
Yeah, no. So
Yep.
I believe it was this mold was brought back in other lines, but anyway, so they were apparently going to release this. So this is the deluxe class version, and I think the Human Alliance version is a much better figure and it looks more accurate. But I guess for an Autobot, this obviously it looks better because it's less insecty Michael Bay stuff.
Well, just the colors.
Oh yeah, the colors. So even as Brad mentioned before, even at the prototype stage, this figure has more color than the deluxe class version whenever it came out. And yeah, it's the head's really striking. It's I mean, I can definitely see Blaster in it. It's got some cool gold highlights, although I don't really know where it comes from, considering it's a completely red car. But you know.
Well, that's more of an homage to the original G1 Blast, having the yellow highlights on it, and just that original Soundwave was just pretty much all grey, and production, if we could see the car mode.
Nope, you may not.
Okay.
I opened one JPEG and that was it.
Okay. In car mode, it's sort of pretty much all that red color, which Soundwave suffered as well, but at least it's got that bronzy gold color accents for the rims. But it's a better distribution of the color now. It's probably just parts molding color and not actual paint.
No, I see it.
I gotta say, hey hey Blaster, Victorian called and wants their color scheme back.
Well, this would have been long before that. But...
Well, no,
it wouldn't have.
I think this was I'm not 100% sure, but I think this, as Jason said, was designed for this wave. So I think Victorian was maybe a bit before. I'm not sure, but
wouldn't this have been they've reused the Dark of the Moon mold? To
slapped a new
come
head
later.
On,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a one and possibly a fifth wave from Dark of the Moon that never even made it to production.
Well, it could have been, couldn't it?
Could have, yeah. I'm sure it could have been, but it's just...
I do kind of feel like the attention to detail and the color scheme is actually more akin to the Last Night paint jobs.
Yeah. I mean, this is prototype, so it could be the complete color scheme, and it could not. But I just think a very unique thing. I mean, maybe they can bring it to the movie The Best Line. Maybe
good point. I
don't know, maybe. Or maybe in Transformers Bumblebee, maybe bring him out. I don't know. But I still think I really like the head design. I can definitely screams Blaster to me. Except with more, I think more anime, like the antennas are more swooshy, I guess.
I think I heard a swoosh.
Yeah, swoosh.
I heard a swoosh.
The backpack's pretty, is it completely transformed?
Yeah, well, the whole car is on the back, which sort of lends to the barricade sort of.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, what we got now, even though the legs aren't as solid, but it just colors and that it sort of looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Than what the Soundwave did.
It does look like the roof should fold up.
It probably does. I mean, I've never...
Classic Hasbro. They've mistransformed the figure.
Hey, prototype, it probably doesn't even transform. It's probably just glued together.
That is a good point. But no, I think it's really interesting, and I mean, and probably one of the more neat things I've ever brought out to these things. So, I mean, if we, as the Hascons go along, if we can continue seeing more prototypes, I'd be all for it, because I think that's actually something really cool that you could bring to your convention that'll make your convention unique.
Yeah. I just love that chest detail. It's got some nice detail there.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But that's
movie bots exactly like Dark of the Moon Soundwave.
Sorry.
Okay.
That chest detail looks exactly like Soundwave.
Except coppery gold and paint.
Shall we move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Mikey, this one was... I think I need to zoom out a little bit. This one was also your choice.
Yes.
So this is a Transformers Prime Bumblebee. There's a second Bumblebee next to him, which makes it makes it seem like this was supposed to be a 2-pack with scraplets.
Scraplets.
Mm.
Yeah, so I guess they were going for an evolution pack, as Brad said before, because we've got the War for Cybertron Bumblebee and this, I guess, Prime, just RID Bumblebee. And they've all got, silver paint on them to make them kind of look damaged, which looks not the best, I guess.
It doesn't look too bad for that chrome foil on the damaged parts. It doesn't look. It looks like someone's been chewing on them.
I guess, and that
it doesn't have
make a lot of
holes.
sense.
Maybe it's time.
Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't have holes in the bodywork or any corrosion, but still.
That's they're just a suspense scheme. But the
$25 toy.
The best thing about this is that we finally got representation of the little scraplets, which were the those, when they came into the episode, there were these cute little innocent things that the humans loved, and then whenever they looked at the Transformers, they opened up, and then these 1,000 teeth came, all these teeth, and then these all these spinning blades inside, and they all shit, and then Bulkhead. Bulkhead
as
shat
big and
himself.
tough. Yeah, as big and tough as
the
Bulkhead
big-
is.
the
As
big
soon as he hears the mouth start to spool up, he's like, ah!
Yeah, and he did like a little girly,
Yeah.
So it's great that that they were thinking about giving them to us, because these things look great. Looks like
Prime actually did have a lot of packs with add-on characters and stuff as well. Like they had the humans and some of the packs.
the little human figures.
It would have been good.
Yeah. I would have much preferred these to the humans. But
it's interesting here that they've got them in, like, they're flying after the bot mode. Like, there isn't one or two that are actually standing there just in their cute mode as well.
Yeah.
It'd be like Energon cubes and that, just having these little things to add to your display would be just fantastic.
You can have them biting on the figures as well,
Yeah, well, they clearly got an open mouth and the teeth hanging out, so you could clip, like, sort of hang down on.
I think there's a hinge in there. So I mean, I just thought this was really, really cool, and like, imagine just like you grab a deluxe and then it comes with a little scraplet, so that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, well, if a third party come out now and said we're going to release 10 scraplets of different poses and stuff like that, I'll be done.
There was
a wallet.
Is he mouthing or is he speaking?
He's yawning.
And some third-party designers have already taken scans of these things off the thing at Hascon and are probably already putting them into mass production. They will turn up tomorrow on AliExpress at $5 for 10-pack.
There are actually people at Shapeways that have made them, and they're really quite accurate. And I mean, they're pretty close to these ones, so that's a bit odd. But they have to be because they look like it. But they're really cool, and I just think it'd be a neat pack-in thing with whenever all of the Power of the Primes and all this gimmick stops, maybe including like these little things, as the deluxe class thing. I don't know, but I just thought it was really.
I kind of see little mini Sharkticons in them as well.
Oh yeah. They're very much inspired by the Sharkticons, except they're supposed to. They're like, their whole thing was in the show, just like, oh, look at these cute little things, and all the humans loved it. And then whenever they looked at the Transformers, they were just like, we will like destroy you and eat your soul.
Well, that's it. Plus, you only had 1 or 2 Sharkticons, whereas this is a dozen, a lot smaller, but just in force. Yeah. Yep, like strength in numbers.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what makes them so cool. Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We're going to talk a little bit about some pictures of the no, that's not the right way. The movie The Best line. We talked about the new additions to this, taking it up to MB20 last week, but we didn't have any pictures of the new designs for the bots or the new color schemes for them. So this week we do have some official renders. We are looking at Jetfire there. Who I think when we saw it
last week, some nice silver.
We did see a picture of Jetfire last week and decided I think it was pretty much this one actually.
I got Jetfire for Christmas at one of my cousins' houses, and I could not figure out how to transform him to the point where I got really, really pissed off and I got angry at everyone around me. This guy was ridiculous, Durant. And I transformed Prime perfectly fine, but then just Jetfire just pissed me off.
Speaking of Prime,
I've never transformed it.
Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself.
Speaking of Prime, here is the revenge version of the Prime. This is MB17.
It's odd that they've done this when they've just released the Masterpiece version as well. Now, we talked last week about the combining factor, but as you're about to see in a couple of photos' time, these two do combine, obviously, because this is the Revenge of the Fallen Prime mode. Oh, that doesn't look as good as it should be.
No, it really doesn't, does it?
Well, there's a way to position the feet where you've got Jetfire's feet on the front. It looks a tiny bit better, but again, it is just a guy hanging off in the back of another guy.
No, yeah, but those stupid...
Pretty much.
Things. But yeah...
Bumblebee, MB18 Warhammer Bumblebee. Notice that they have placed a space between War and Hammer.
I was about to say, yeah.
And they have, in fact, given him a hammer.
Because I would be very angry if they called this guy Warhammer, Warhammer Bumblebee, and didn't give him a hammer.
Well, after their recent court actions with DC.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure they'd be watching their backs. But I don't have a Last Night Bumblebee yet. If I can find it, this will probably be it.
It's pretty cool. Well, I'll find it. As in like in the wild, which I don't.
No. Because I haven't. My local stores haven't got anything past Wave 1. So
local in Australia is generally garbage.
Can someone explain to me what the hell is going on with Hound's feet?
That's Hound's feet.
That's
from
the.
Anyway,
well, that was from the Voyager, so that's nothing new.
Yeah.
It actually is the wheel, Jason. So once you flip it together, that actually becomes the wheel in vehicle mode, which is pretty clever. But
no, it's pretty obviously a wheel. It's okay. I do get that.
No, but I'm just like it actually is the wheel in vehicle mode. Like so, that's why it kind of looks not that great.
Yeah, that's weird. But
I don't mind the shield. If it was used in the film, I'd be even better against it. But
you'd be better against it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he's
You'd
fighting,
be less against it.
No, I'll be better against it.
This guy comes with all the guns from the other Hound, and then that shield, and then I assume because there is actually a hinge on the shield that you could actually get it in this. Kind of looks like a dump truck.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'm not really in love with Hound's alt mode.
No, it looks like a dump truck. Whenever I first saw it, I thought kind of looked like a dump truck because it actually has.
Are you saying that Hound is dumpy?
Yes, I am. Even before that, but
it does look like Wreck-Gar.
This
animated Wreck-Gar, right? Yeah. He's just for some reason.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, I mean, the bars kind of look like the.
Yeah, you're right. It's the bars.
Yeah. But this is the best looking of this mole because you do have that back thing, and
you also get a free Mercedes logo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It looks movie accurate with that thing, that canopy on the back of it. But
yeah, if the weapons store there, that'd be great. And then we got this.
Yeah, we're getting Nemesis Prime. Is MB20 stretching the definition of movie the best?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Is that the Voyager?
No,
I don't know. It looks like a shampoo bottle.
It looks really. It's the leader. Oh, it's the leader one.
Age of Extinction leader with the spinny face. Yeah,
definitely. Yep,
actually, no. This one is the updated one that has the shield that turns into the back of the truck.
That's not an update. That's just got a new accessory.
Yeah, well, that's basically cutting off the end of the truck and then turning it into a shield, which is kind of genius and kind of lazy at the same time. But I kind of like it. But like this,
it's also a render where the rest have been the actual figure.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
that's
you're
not
right.
the bot. Yeah, that's not the bot at all.
Oh, look at some accessories. Yay.
Yeah, he's got the.
I love it.
Now, I've got a very interesting question. These accessories, have they existed in Hasbro or Takara?
Yes.
They have?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think it's called Armored Knight Optimus Prime from Takara line. He came with the big sword, the big axe, maybe something else, and the shield. No, I think that was it. So this is just a repaint of that figure.
All right, because I've only seen these in the Weijing oversized one, and I was just going to
no, completely
claim victory, but no, obviously not.
No,
so.
I will not allow you to be victorious.
Why would this be victory?
Confirmation the bill has that Takara owned the third party. Don't worry
It's
about
an odd way of declaring victory.
I didn't declare victory. I just suggested it.
You said you were going to, but yeah.
Lost.
Yeah, no, I don't actually care about any of these figures.
Yeah. No, that Hound looks better in alt mode, and I haven't got a Bumblebee yet, so.
Well, it's just as well we finished that story off, because there is another one that shows more movie the best figures.
Oh my god!
Oh, I declare, Jazz. Like a case of the Vapors.
What?
He's overcompensating for something, and I just got a little bit lightheaded.
Oh right, I see. Okay, yeah. I don't get this. I've never got this weapon because this is just the movie one, Jazz. Why?
That's because there's only been one movie with Jazz in it.
I know, but
yeah, but he was back in
this
Revenge of the Fallen in toy form.
Why does this weapon exist?
Yeah, okay, let's move on. There's Jazz's vehicle form. He doesn't look very large, actually.
Definitely deluxe.
Bone Crusher, I do not... Well, maybe there was some green on it, but like I don't really see the difference between this Bone Crusher and the other one.
Yeah, the only thing I read was it's got some silver on it. They could have at least molded the legs a little bit different so it actually stands, but... Yeah,
he's a difficult one to stand with those wheels.
And I really don't... Oh, well, there.
Oh,
you got the extendable...
What a mess.
Yeah,
that's basically...
You got the extendable hands on it.
Yeah, okay, over it.
Yeah, movie 1 bots.
Movie 5 bots. Megatron is still one of the best looking movie bots ever from the last night.
This probably is the best scheme for him, and then again, he's the only one, I believe. None of the Hasbro ones have the red paint on his right side of his face like this one.
No,
does.
nothing does. This is pretty much the red paint version of Leader Megatron,
which is cool. I like how it's also on the tusk that kind of looks like he's stabbed someone with his face, I guess.
Arterial spray.
Yeah. No, I like this one. This looks very good. But this figure is just great.
That looks like eyes in his
half a
abdomen.
plane as his shield?
Yeah,
basically.
it's all the front. Yeah, it's the front end of the plane.
Yeah. But you know,
that's why a lot more sort of the Voyager one does better.
Oh yeah.
Arm cannon mode. Yeah.
It just looks more. I guess less cluttered. But
yeah, more organic. Looks
yeah. But I like it because it also comes with the flame features, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think this is the best version of that Leader Megatron. Just really good looking design.
That jet mode does look pretty good.
It's great. It's a giant pointy death point.
And a head only Primus could love, or Unicron.
Pretty much.
Or Quintessa.
Probably Quintessa.
Well, at least he doesn't have a head that transforms into a gun like this dude.
Well, he did.
One, no, he doesn't.
Except this one doesn't either. This is
MB15
the last night. I don't remember Lockdown being in the last night, but whatever. Last night Lockdown.
He could have been in the back there somewhere.
He was haunting Prime's memories as he was taken over by Quintessa.
The good thing about this one is it actually comes with a hook, which is pretty cool. It looks like you might actually be able to put it in a way that actually, would be useful. He's
the original Takara one come with a hook too. I'm pretty sure I've seen the hook scene.
I think it did. I could be wrong, but it also does come with
Cade sword gun.
Health, yeah. That I don't know what that's supposed to be. I mean,
there's a lot more color to the robot mode, like the gold springs in the legs. You can see the car rear lights on these shoulders. I
prefer the mask because I just don't really like really human face from that figure, so I prefer the mask on this one.
Yeah,
nice green in there as well.
Yeah. A few weeks ago, we seen the concept art for what was to become Hot Rod, and it sort of had that similar mask on as well.
Hot Rod.
Yeah,
quite nice. But...
Yeah.
So the car mode. So the car mode, like Jazz, it looks quite small.
It's tiny. This one is absolutely tiny.
Yeah, and it looks like they just stood back and sort of, we'll get the silver paint and the airbrushes go, and put some silver paint. Like just the way it sort of flakes and goes across it doesn't really look that Good.
Yeah.
No.
All right, shall we move on?
Yeah,
Yes.
Let's move on to discuss the Ocular Echo Unofficial Transformers Generation 1 Photographic Archive Kickstarter project. This is a Kickstarter that is to produce not one, but two photographic archive books. The first one is a complete archive of every Transformer figure from Generation 1 released in the US from 1984 to 1990, while the second set is a set of Japanese and European exclusive releases from 1985 to 1993, things that never made it to the US. Now, this has been put together by a couple of a few of the more notable members of the Transformers community: Sebastian Horton, Bryce Rutledge, and Brandon Yap. Brandon is especially better known as Heroic Decepticon, and for those of you who've seen the pictures that he posts on Facebook of his collection, extremely impressive. So it's almost like a photographic archive of most of these guys' collections, plus a few people who contributed some of the bots that they were missing. And it is up on Kickstarter and with some designs for some of the pages. They are extremely well put together, very very well photographed as well, I think. Yeah. So yeah, there's the detail spreads for Optimus Prime and Megatron there. And
that's gorgeous.
Then there's some of the other bots like Whirl, Roadbuster, and Omega Supreme, and some of the other bots as well. Like it's obvious that a lot of care has been taken with both the photography and the layout of these books. Like they're going to make fantastic coffee table books.
Oh my god, that's gorgeous! I love it.
But if you're in Australia, it's really expensive.
Oh yeah. Well, that's pretty much a life for us, you know. Anything.
It's actually not really for us as far as Transformers go. But I feel like because this is coming off Kickstarter and it's going to be printed and whatever in the US, I feel like we're getting a little bit.
Okay.
So it's $110 US for both volumes of the books, and you have to pay a bomb in shipping to get them over here.
I did look it up.
I don't see that as
$70 shipping. So.
Okay, well, I'm sure you can find someone local that can ship for cheaper than that, because that's $70.
About $75, actually, I think.
Although, looking at what they're covering, I'd prefer. All right, I shouldn't be commenting, but yeah, I just.
You're allowed to comment, Brad. That's completely. It's your show.
If you're gonna do a season 1, 2, and 3 book, and then do Headmasters.
No, they haven't done them based on the cartoon. They've done them based on the toy releases.
Yeah.
But did? Oh, okay, whatever. All right. I didn't realise this was Kickstarter. When Dylan posted in the group the other day, I thought, here's the books, buy them, and people complained about the price. I didn't realise it was Kickstarter.
It's a Kickstarter project.
Yeah, these guys that want to take photos as a collection and not just print them on social media, but actually put them in a book. Yeah, okay, go for it.
Now that I've seen them, they look super well done.
I'm sure all these photos are on social media. You can go to TF Wiki and see all this.
They're actually not, like, and especially not in the layouts that they're publishing them in as well. So like, there's a great effort that they're going to actually document the history of Transformers in this.
Yeah, but then you go back. You go back to some of the previous images. They'll give Prime and Megatron a full page, which. Okay, but then they'll cram.
Yeah, no, I get that. Like like World doesn't really get that much love. It's just like, here's an alt mode.
But they should be like towards the back of the book, because anyway, I'm not. Yeah, don't take what I'm saying by any means as a criticism or a positive.
Brad and I.
It's straight down the line, neither positive nor negative.
I can be negative.
I know,
but it's not warranted. So, good luck.
Brad and I are bad people for not knowing who those people that make this are.
No, it depends. So since joining TCCA and sort of observing a bit of the community around, I tend to hang out, and there's a group of Transformers fans on Twitter that I like to interact with, and in general, I don't really venture too far into overseas groups. I have interacted with Bryce Rutledge before, and I'm actually not sure whether I bought some of my TFC collection from him. I would have to check that. But and I've interacted with Brandon Yap before, and I think I ended up telling him off for putting a watermark on something that I felt he shouldn't have. It didn't go well for me, is what I'm saying. But the fact remains, Brandon also has a lot of resources on his website that are very useful for people who might be going to other countries looking for lists of shops when they're visiting somewhere as well. And so there's these guys, they hang out in particular corners of the community, some fairly large groups as well, but they also do give back to the community. And this is one of those projects where they're really trying to give people something that, I think they're genuinely trying to create a product that they would like to put on their own coffee tables, something that they can be proud of, and something that everyone else might like to display their figures as well.
Yeah, so, and I don't want to diss the creation of a book at all. Like, I love art books from movies and stuff like that. Just having that physical thing you can sit there and look at, and all that stuff is all fine and dandy. As I said, I don't venture too far into the international communities. There's the Sabertron, TF forums, all that sort of stuff. I don't have time to do any of that sort of stuff, and I'm not going to condemn or deny its existence or anything like that. But I'm
glad you're not going to condemn them. But yes.
Oh no. And like, shout out to Shadowcast in 190 for mentioning us on the thing. Like, no, it was good to hear. And I've got like some of the old collection books from G1 and stuff, and just having stuff like that, having a resource, the bots, what weapons they come with, accessories, all that sort of stuff is a great resource. And the more that's updated and brought out, then it can only help collectors in getting figures. Now, Volume 2 with the Japanese and European, as I said, that for me that'd be 87 onwards. But anyway, that's how they're doing it. Yeah, I'll be looking at getting the G1, the first book, Volume 1 of it.
I don't think I could get one without getting the other, to be honest.
No,
actually,
the completionist in me would have to get both. But I can't justify the outlay for it. Like, I've been through this discussion with myself over the definitive G1 collection comics as well. And ultimately, as much as I've been someone who's blowing the trumpet of that, and like everyone get on it and get all the classic comics and everything, I already own them. Like, I really can't justify spending. Yeah, no, but I can't justify spending over $1,000 on comics I already own.
Wait, what do you mean? Do you mean the definitive G1 collection is going to cost $1,000?
Something like that. It's like 80 editions at $20 each.
Oh God! Don't do that. That's terrible.
I already own the comics.
Ladies and gentlemen, when your local post office starts getting in a collector run, do not fall for it, because it never ends.
Stupid.
It is the song that never ends, and it goes on and on, my friend.
And then you'll get in a lawsuit over the missing piece, and then you lose your house. Your wife divorces you. It's just not worth it.
So yeah, like I said, I find it really hard to justify these. I found it really hard to justify buying any of the definitive editions, even though I got the first one. I got the first one when I was in the UK at Christmas because it was £2. Like,
oh, that's right. Yeah,
I would not do it. And it was like $7.95 here or something, and so it's the introductory price. Subsequent editions are $20. Can't justify that either. But yeah,
these look so good, and just after, because I haven't seen them inside before, and they look.
Yeah,
they look
that's
so
it. Yeah, I hadn't seen inside photos either, and it was only, you're saying it. I doubt you can actually buy one. I'm sure it's a 2-pack deal. You can't.
No. You can. There's definitely options to buy just one. or the other.
Okay, all right. It's something I'll be interested in because the one I've got's sort of missing some stuff, but
That's the one you got.
The one with the holographic Optimus Prime on the front.
I feel like I feel like we've been a bit of a downer for this podcast, so I need to put something on to make us all feel good.
Okay.
Yay!
Everybody's happy now.
And it's the Prime One Studio Beast Wars Megatron statue. There is an absolute shit ton of new photos that have. I did say shit ton. Have hit the net.
No, I'm agreeing. There is a lot.
He looks amazing.
Oh yeah,
really looks amazing. Brad, you said earlier he's $1,000.
The exclusive version, which is only 300 release, is 1,100 US, which
he's $1,000.
Puts that back into my focus.
So does that mean the other versions of this will be less than 1,000?
It's only $100 less than his 500.
Oh, well, you want to get the exclusive one then if it's only $100 more.
Yeah, I didn't read. It's in the news story, but I didn't read what the difference is between the exclusive and this. But
I think you also get Andy as well.
You do not get Andy.
I wonder.
No, this is definitely back on my radar now that I know it's not $2,000. But
and it just
it's only one.
I'll just only put one mortgage on this.
It'll be 1.8, whatever. But,
yeah, probably. Just the detail of the stand, and then just like to have Dinobot's head with his own lance.
I wonder if I do this fast enough, will it look like he's turning around? Yeah, it certainly does.
It looks like he's dancing.
And people say this figure didn't transform.
Well, if you look at him from a very
transforms
specific
your wallet
angle,
from being full to empty.
If you look at him from a very specific angle, where you kind of just line up the head with the
is it this angle?
Legs.
Was it this angle,
pretty much.
Mikey?
It kind of
the
looks
butt
like
shot.
a dinosaur. How good is that? He doesn't have much of an ass though, so that's unfortunate.
No, I'm. Oh, damn it!
What?
I need to send a message.
Okay. He's just the head sculpt is the most perfect Megatron Beast Wars head sculpt.
So this is the thing, right? Like with Beast Wars CGI from like the Beast Wars is the 90s, right? Like Beast Wars CGI versus modern day manufacturing processes, you can in fact make something that looks exactly like the CGI.
Except this looks even better than the CGI because look at all just the details and the wrinkling.
You are correct. This is actually a higher resolution than Beast Wars. The photo we're looking at right now.
Which I mean, don't get me wrong, the show was good. The animation was good for the time, and I think it kind of still stands up. I mean, there are some weird, animations it like bits in there, but like I think it's a decently animated show and it stands up. But this is stunning. Like look at that tongue. That is a really realistic tongue.
Mm.
And I could talk about this all day because there's just so much to look at.
It looks great.
Yeah. Like we've talked with statues before about how the artists or the sculptors will sort of add their own flair or sort of move away from the original quite a bit in some cases. But this is Beast Wars Megatron to a T.
Yep.
All right. We've had the Megatron appreciation. It's time to move on to the last story for the episode. Are you ready?
Mm.
You ready? Eek. This is a photograph from the set of Transformers Universe Bumblebee. This dude is playing someone called Adams, who appears to be a member of Sector 7. Now, Sector 7 is the secretive organization from the first few Transformers movies that appears to have entered retirement, with Simmons now phoning in his lines for the last night from Cuba. This guy appears to be called Adams. Sure, hello. Why not? When TFW posted this news story, they did make the point that in the first movie, Sector 7 did appear to have been around for a long time before and monitoring Transformers. So, yeah, it seems logical that we'll see Sector 7 make an appearance in Transformers Universe Bumblebee.
The names of the secret societies or whatever that have been in the Transformers movies just get worse and worse. So you've got Sector 7, and then I think it moves to Cemetery Wind, which till this day just sounds like a dead fart. And then it just goes on to TRF, and that's never explained what it means. So it's just like, yeah, we just got to stop with these, sectors and these whatevers, because they just.
Do you think we're going to get a de-aged John Turturro in this?
No. They have a $70 million budget. They will just recast.
If they had another 70 million, then yes.
It is literally, you will just find someone who is half of his age and speaks
Put a
kind
wig
of like
on.
him.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, we're not gonna use special CGI to turn back to Quark and John Turturro.
No,
fortunately.
No, it was creepy enough when they did it to Anthony Hopkins in Westworld.
Yeah, whenever it works, it doesn't work that well.
Oh, no. It worked really well. But it was creepy because it was obvious, but it still worked really well.
I think the one in Rogue One, when they did it to Grand Moff Tarkin.
Oh,
that wasn't digital de-aging. That was a digital actor.
That was a CGI bloody
disaster.
Yeah.
What was another one? I don't know, but I don't just it just
Jar
feels
Jar
weird.
Binks?
No, Danny Jr. in Iron Man 3 Civil War. Civil War, he done it.
Oh yeah, true. Why? That one kind of worked, but again, you could see.
Oh yeah, no, they all work, but the Tarkin.
It's just weird,
Oh yeah, and my biggest problems with Kathleen Kennedy smiling through her stupid fake teeth. With the CGI is so fantastic in Rogue One. Wait until you see Tarkin, you'll love it. You lying bitch.
I think we've awoken something here from Brad.
No, I'm not going to do it. All right, 6-7.
I'm glad we're not a Star Wars podcast.
Yeah, continuity.
Yeah, so there's going to be Sector 7 in this, so expect possible fart jokes, I guess.
I don't know. Like this dude looks a lot more serious. I don't know if he's
serious fart jokes. There you go.
Is he wearing Sector 7 underwear though?
Oh God, that's
what you might find is that the Sector 7 merchandising machine may have kicked in somewhere around the 90s when the franchise dropped off.
That was such a bloody. Do you reckon they all have to wear Sector 7 undies?
Could you own press your own logo?
I think it's about time we
logo in the 80s.
Yes, you could.
Okay.
I think it might be about time to end the news segment.
Yeah, let's do that.
Lighten it, Brad. There we go. I hear the mouse clicking.
Clickies.
So,
oh, hello, Puss.
Yeah, it is that
time.
Have
you not noticed him?
He's been sitting here the whole time. It is that time where we talk about new acquisitions, things that we have added to our collection. Once again, Brad and I have come up empty this week, but Mikey is bringing home the bacon and propping up the team on this. What have you got this week?
Right, so I'll go with what I just expected this week, and that was this guy, and that is the DX9's Richtofen, I believe. He's a really, really good figure. He's odd in the fact that I think he's supposed to be in the same line with like their Sugar and Gewalt. Like,
I'm pretty sure he is, yeah.
Yeah, but this guy is just so 100% G1, where those guys have they're slightly off. This guy is just like you won't get anything better than a perfect power glider than this guy. He's fun to transform. There's stability wise in his robot mode. Whenever you move like the shoulders, the wings, how it all clips together, it's kind of a weird connection. But it's kind of a little bit. It gets unconnected a bit easy. But other than that, fun transformation. Comes with his gun, which whenever I post a picture of it, people always just notice that it's pretty much just MPB's gun. So I don't know, did he use B's gun in the show or whatever? I don't know, but yeah, this guy's really, really cool, and comes with Marissa Fairborn, kind of closer to the Raoul figure that came with Trax, and a really actually cool display stand. It actually doesn't ratchet. You actually have to take it apart and put it where you want to go, and it's really stable. So yeah, this guy's really, really neat, and yeah, you won't get any more perfect for a Powerglide. Here's
It looks a lot better than the. I'm glad it's just on upscale. The combinables one.
no, it's not, definitely not.
Yeah.
And then here's just little. I believe her name's Marissa Fairborn, the girl who loved Powerglide, and yes, he does have the little heartbeat in his chest.
Well, no, I don't think she was the girl who loved Powerglide, was she?
Marissa?
I didn't think that was Marissa.
No, it was someone else, wasn't it?
I don't know, to be honest. I've been calling her Marissa Fairborn. Is it? I don't know. Anyway, I also got. All right. So, you'll know this guy as Tide's Return, Fort Max, but this guy's
Yes, we do know him as
different.
that.
Yeah, this guy's a little bit different in the fact that he has essentially, well, he's got 2 upgrade kits on him at the moment. That's DNA 02 and 04, which give him articulated hands with the transforming guns from the back to the hands, the waist cannons, which are really awesome because, like, that's, I mean, pretty iconic for Fort Max. It gets much bigger feet, which have these what do you call them? They're adhesive things that help him from slipping. You actually can also install new ratchets in there, so you can actually get more clicks out.
Click.
Yep, pretty much.
More movement and posing
more
possibilities.
movement. Yeah.
Right?
And also the feet can have the feet have ankle tilt, so it actually has ankle tilt, which is great. A new crotch piece, which actually helps with stability, which is great. And then some pieces to put on. What's his name? Cerebros. Yep. So these pieces were, I don't know if you can see them, were black before, so I guess they just get grey and make it more cohesive. And yeah, it and the Repro Labels upgrade set, and I really do think all of these things combined to make him a much better figure. And just because Fort Max is just known for having all the guns, and now he does have all the guns. And I also picked up with him, which I think this is the most powerful weapon in the Transformers universe. I'm maybe wrong, but
Alternative would challenge that.
I thought that was actually Galvatron's ego.
That could be it too. Maybe that's in here as well. But this is the Perfect Effect sword as well. It fits in the upgraded hand perfectly fine, and it's just like there's die cast in this thing. There's plastic. It's huge, and then you can take this off, and then there's a little hilt, so any deluxe class figure can actually. I mean, it's ridiculously big even in this mode. But, I mean, you can have your deluxe class figure holding it. And then just look at this thing. It's like in your hand. I mean, like run up to someone and start hitting them with it. And I'm not sure they'll leave you alone or something. So, yeah, no, I just... that really completes my Fort Max for me. I thought he was lacking some things. And, yeah, I really do like him now. And lastly, we have another gigantic guy.
Hello.
And this guy is much heavier than Fort Max, which is strange. This is Toy World's Constructor, aka Devastator. Now, I did own the first version of this, but there was some QC issues. Like 2 of the figures were missing thumbs, or maybe one was, and then long haul piece of long haul broke. So I sold that and then basically funded it straight to get this guy, and now this guy has like 0 of the QC problems, and I'm in love with this. It's awesome. It also comes with the if you see here, the filler bits to make it more complete, because without it you just have this kind of, as you can see, like more streamlined and more full as opposed to nothing. I didn't know it was coming with that, so that was a bonus. Comes with his head.
So that's the second. That's the second version. It hasn't got the silver thighs. It's got the green thighs.
No. It does. It has the green thighs, which again, they look real great. They look very, very good.
And the purple drum on Mixmaster as well.
Yeah, purple drum. Now, mine actually, when I got the first version, they actually gave me the purple drum free, which was cool. But all the figures are perfect. The QC on this guy is amazing. Sorry.
Oopsies.
Last time when combining this part, I had to shave down a lot on Scrapper, and then putting it in the first time, it was smooth. It all went together and was great. And then it has the awesome G1 Devastator head, which, as you can see here, is just perfect for Devastator. He's yelling, and he also has I don't know why the third parties have been lacking this, but he's the first one to have the head cannon, which was a cool part of the G1 toy, and I'm glad it has it. And of course, you've got the red LED lights, and this guy is just an amazing figure, and he's super posable, and he's got these cool but kind of weird joints in his arms where you can move them normally and they'll stay like that, but you can also move them so that it kind of breaks the mold of the arm and shows some detail, but it can like add like a double jointed elbow type thing. That's also pretty cool. But yeah, this this guy's pretty much perfect for Devastator. He's masterpiece scaled, I guess. And he will be, I guess, debuting. He will come with me to. I put an opinion poll on TCCA, and that had some interesting results come from it. But this guy shall be accompanying me to 1987, which is this weekend, which I think we'll be talking about in a bit. But yeah, so it's been a good week. It's been a very, very good week for toy collecting. Again, I was only expecting the Power Glide, and then thanks to Jason, I got the Fort Max kit from Robot Kingdom. And yeah, from Toybots and Joel's company, Joel Friedman's company.
Robo Toys.
So Robo Toys and Toybot Imports. Two great Aussie retailers that I definitely suggest you check out, because they're very reliable. And yeah, so that was I think that's the biggest week I'm ever going to have. But a very good week for me. So I kind of I led the team, and you guys just have a week off. I got this week for you guys. So
yeah, I am expecting to have something next week. So we'll see how we go. And also, if you have the MMC Tyrantron, the reformatted Megatron on order, shipping just started, so you might get it next week. MMC does actually seem to have really fast shipping from Planet Steel Express, so yeah. I think that's we're coming towards the end of the show. Just as a bit of a reminder for Transformers Collectors Club Australia events, there are a series of events taking place around the country this month. As Mikey was talking about, we have 1989 at Newtown on Sunday night. It's actually the first time we've actually sort of gone and sort of taken over a venue for something like this in Sydney. We'll have some Transformers themed food on the menu. There will be
I
didn't know about that. Well, I'm not going to go into too much, because by the time the podcast comes out, the event will have happened already. But there'll be some speed forming contests, a Transformers trivia contest, and there will be a screening of something that we don't know what. And of course, this Sunday is in fact the 33rd anniversary of the first broadcast of the Transformers series in the USA. So. As I said earlier, it is renewal season, so do find the details at transformerscca.com. Your membership does allow us to go out and put on some of these events. We pay for tables at Supernova out of membership fees and income from raffles. So please do participate in these things when you see them. Now, Brad, you wanted to mention Mikey just mentioned Joel and his company RoboToys, but there is a YouTube channel featuring a series of collectors interviews that he's been working on for a while. So there is a link in the show notes to Joel's YouTube channel. So do check it out and go and have a look.
Yeah, if you even in the group he's posted up today, the link will be in the show notes. But just the auto quality, the attention detail. There's a couple of minute nitpicks.
Don't do them now.
Okay. But no,
just edit them out of the show.
Okay. No, it's great. It's great to see Jonathan on the screen, and Joel's done a great job with it. So I can't wait to see further episodes.
Yep.
Excellent. Yeah. All right. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you have made it all the way through the show, we've been about an hour and a half tonight, so we're good. That's done pretty well. We're pretty good. We might get a good night's sleep. We do record fairly late on Friday nights. Australian Transformers Weekly is produced by Transformers Collectors Club Australia. You can find us and find out all about us. Maybe not Mikey, but most of us at transformerscca.com. Oh, good. We took the camera off Mikey.
Yeah, this is just like, what am I doing? I don't know.
You can also find the podcast on iTunes or your podcatcher of choice. So do head over there. And if you can review us, be kind. Rewind. I don't know. Whatever. The link is in the show notes. Mikey doesn't even know what a VCR is.
Oh, God, yes, I do. Yes, I do. How dare you? I grew up with most of that stuff.
You can, of course, find our newest podcast edition, Transformers Legends, talking about Transformers RID and a lot of the more younger skewed products on Facebook and the TCCA YouTube channel. And the website for that is tflpod.podbean.com. So do check it out. And we will be back next Friday for the live show, and probably I think what day does the podcast usually come out, Brad? It's usually Mondays or Tuesdays.
Monday night. Monday nights out.
And Monday nights, you'll be able to grab the new episode off your favorite podcatcher. Thank you for listening, and we will be back next week.
Before we go, just to railroad this a little bit. Okay, you're not going to say. Sideshow Collectibles currently have that Masterpiece Megatron at $11.99. It's not due out until November of next year. So there's $120 deposit right now when you pre-order, and then your first payment, if you go on the payment plan, isn't due until April of next year.
That's a long way away. That's a whole year.
I am so glad you derailed the end of the podcast for this instead of just saying it next week.
Yeah, why is this necessary? Sorry.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, okay. Go pre-order a $1 billion statue. Have a good one.
See you guys.
Bye.